All right, welcome to Beau Knows, episode 2. We're off to a hot start. 2 straight weeks, 2 podcasts, 2 for 2. We're doing it, man. We're doing it. It is the week of the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is here, which is exciting for people, for gambling. It's a big gambling week. Everybody's psyched to make a little cash. Go out there, you got the boxes. You're at your office, everybody's got a box. Everybody's losing $300 a piece so that one guy talks shit for 3 months. It's good. I've won a couple boxes in my day. I'm kind of off the gambling. I have a lot of friends who are addicted to gambling. It seems like a tough road. Doesn't seem like a fun experience, the gambling addiction. I was actually just reading this today. There is a lawsuit. This dude sued MGM and the Borgata in Atlantic City because he gambled $30 million over the course of, I don't know, how long does it take to do that? I think it was like 3 years. It was something crazy. So it was like 10 mil a year he's dropping. And he sued the Borgata and MGM because he was like, you know, you knew I was addicted and you kept letting me gamble, which I get. I understand. You have an addiction. You know, you're a helpless person. But, you know, I didn't sue the liquor store down the street because they kept giving me booze, you know? I should have. I don't think I would have gotten much money, but that would have been a fun experience. If 90 days into sobriety, I was like, yeah, Mom, I'm actually suing Al's Warehouse, which is the name of a real liquor store that I would go to in the morning. Like, doesn't totally make a whole lot of sense, but he lost. He lost big on that. Because here's the thing, the casinos are all kind of, you know, that's their whole business model is to take advantage of people that are addicted to gambling. So if they lose the lawsuit of a guy who was taking advantage because he was addicted to gambling, then it's like, well, then that's how the fuck are we supposed to make any money here? It's kind of the whole point of the thing we're doing.
They only kick you out if you're taking
drunk.
Too much money.
Yeah.
Not even if you're too drunk. Well, sometimes.
Well, they will.
Yeah.
I've been approached at a couple casinos back in the day where they walked up, and it's like interesting because when you get kicked out of a casino, it's not like getting kicked out of a bar. Because when you're kicked out of a bar, it's one guy and he's like, "Come on, buddy, you got to go." When you get kicked out of a casino, you kind of feel like you're like doing a heist of some sort because people with like earpieces on come at you from all angles, and they're like, you know, we're going to have to show you out, which is kind of exciting. It was definitely an exciting experience. But, yeah, you know, they're pretty happy with anybody being in a casino, drunk or otherwise, as long as they're losing money. They'll kick you out if you make too much money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's like, I think it's like a list of like 5 people who are like banned from like all the Las Vegas, like.
That's a cool.
Yeah.
That's
Which is a cool list to
credit.
be on. But it's like these guys are counting cards and like, you know. Which at a certain level seems like it's kind of how you play the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, if I'm cheating against your cheating.
Yeah.
And I win a little bit of cash, and you've been winning, you know, every night forever, then it kind of feels like, hey, maybe I should get this one, you know, and get in the limo or whatever and get the fuck out of here.
Those slot machines too. They used to be all mechanical, but now they're like a computer.
Yeah.
So they can basically cut you off of a jackpot if they want to.
Yeah.
If they know you've already made 10 grand, they'll just cut you off.
Yeah,
they're
like,
be
hey.
oh, you're never gonna win.
Yeah. No, it's over now. But you know when your friend has a gambling problem when he's like, when he brags about how many rooms he has at the casino. You know, like I have buddies call me and they'll be like, "Yo, I got like 4 rooms up at Mohegan, like." you got to come up. It's like, dude, that is a real issue. Like, I don't know how much 4 rooms cost, and the fact that you're getting them for free means that you probably have lost quite a bit of money out there. So
they just feel bad for you at that point. They're like, yeah, take a free room, man.
Well, they're just trying to keep you there.
Yeah.
They're like, hey,
bring your friends. Yeah.
Yeah, give them a place to stay. They want to keep you there as long as they can. I've worked a lot of casinos, and it's a sad group of people that show up to the casino. It's usually people that have breathing problems. They're not so good at walking on their own, or they're kind of like addicted to drugs and walking around. There's a lot of prostitution. Good or bad, that's what's happening. But it's definitely not the classy group. Today is my birthday, Jeff. Did you know that?
Is it actually?
Yes, it is.
Happy birthday, Beau.
It is, yes. And you know what I'm doing for my birthday?
Going to the casino.
No. I am going. I have a funeral I'm going to after this. Yes, a night funeral. Pretty interesting.
Wow.
I don't know. I didn't know they did night funerals, but I got invited. This is what I'm going to wear.
Was that the decision of the deceased, or?
I think it was just kind of yeah. I think it was like more like, all right, we'll do it at night because that's the easiest time everyone can get together. Yeah. I'm wearing this. I'm going with the pullover. I was thinking about this because I was dressing for the night, and I was thinking I think you dress to the level of the person that died, right? Like if my friend who passed away was like a CEO or like a, just somebody that always looked nice, always kind of had it together, a business professional, long life, good things, then, I'll put on the suit. I'll put on the suit.
Interesting.
But why not? I'll put on the suit. But my friend who I'm going to see his funeral, celebration of life, they're calling it, he was a drug addict. And he lived on the street most of his life. And he was a street person. He was a character. He was comfortable in any situation. And he had no filter and no ability to really be a human being. And I love this guy more than anything. He's just a wild person. I used to pick him up from from his homeless shelter every day when we'd go to meetings together, and he was just he's just a nuts dude, He was always into like rap that nobody liked. Like he'd be like, "Yo, you gotta check out Slaughterhouse, cuz." Like, you gotta check out Slaughterhouse, cuz. That's all he was talking to. Everything was cuz, And he had like these fake chains, and he was just a fucking wild dude. And he never really totally got clean, man. He wasn't honest with himself. He wasn't, he didn't take his life seriously. But I think it's nice to go to a funeral on your birthday, because it's a good reminder. Because too often the birthday is looked at as like this, oh, it's my birthday week, it's my birthday month, we're gonna do all these things. It's like, it's a celebration of me when I've done nothing, And instead, it's nice on your birthday to go and look and go, yes, it ends. It ends, and sometimes it ends not so good. I mean, this guy did not live a good life. He was very tortured, and it was a brutal life to be around. But he was as funny a person as you could ever find. I would much rather hang out with him than 99% of comics today, because he was just funny, and he didn't give a fuck about anything, and he'd say anything. And there's something about somebody that lives on the street. Like, everyone should have the experience of knowing somebody in that situation, and knowing the ins and outs of their life. Because for fuck's sake, I mean, how much do you take for granted on a day-to-day basis about your life, where you're like, I didn't get promoted, or or like, the girlfriend broke up with me, or like this happened or that happened. And it's like when you have to like come into close contact with somebody that's like on the street, you you start to go like, okay, I'm doing pretty good, And I think that's like you should always. People always say like, your 5 friends should be people that, if I look at your friends, I tell where you're going to be in 5 years. Well, if you looked at my friends, you would assume that I would be in prison in 5 years, because most of my friends are, people that have been in prison or just out of prison or are going back to prison or are, living on the street, or they're comedians, and then that's kind of worse. That's a worse life in my opinion. But, I think that everyone should have that experience, and for the reason that like it gives your life a little bit of clarity, because most people walk around all day not thinking about how we're gonna die, right? I go months without thinking about how I'm going to die, how eventually, like I'm gonna be trying to breathe and it's just not gonna work, and I mean that's a pretty rough thought to have. Right? That we're going to die. It's scary, but it's necessary.
Keeps you human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can walk around all day like, well, this is going to happen to me. That's going to happen to me. My life is so good. Da, 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 da. And it's like, dude, like at the end, you die. At the end of all of this, you die. So it really like nothing really matters. And when you're posed with the idea of your death, you're never going to be like, oh, I should have gotten that promotion, or I should have, went to dinner with that girl, or whatever bullshit like fears you have about dating. Like dating, you're gonna die. What does it matter if she likes you or she? It doesn't make a difference whether or not you please anyone sexually at all, because you'll be dead and they'll be dead too. They won't be able to talk about it. If you make a skit or sketch, we make one of your skits for Instagram or something, and nobody likes it. You make a podcast. You're on your second episode, and you find out everybody hates you and nobody likes it, and you get death threats or whatever. Well, I'm gonna die, and all those people will die too. So it doesn't it doesn't particularly matter, does it? You know what I mean? So I think it's important, and yeah, so I'm excited. I love funerals. I much prefer funerals to weddings. Weddings are so it's just a little. Also, everyone goes to a wedding with the same mindset. We all going to be like, what will my wedding be like? I wonder if I'll have those flowers. I wonder if we're going to do our vows like that, And when you go to a funeral, you have to think about how you're going to die, which is way more exciting, right? And it's also like you don't want to be in someone's fairy tale. You want to be in their last moment. The last moment is way more powerful. But anyways, I'm hoping a lot of people show up for this guy. I don't imagine it's going to be particularly hugely attended, but I hope it is. I hope, his spirit triumphs, and I think he'd go to some sort of a heaven. He was a really sweet dude, Like people are bad in many ways, but he was pure of heart, even though he lived kind of a rough life. Like he had a pure heart to him, which I think is all you need, Like people talk about like heaven and hell, and there's a lot of like strict rules. For most religions, it's just strict rules about it. If you do this, you go there. If you do that, you go there. And I don't really believe in any of that. I think that generally whether or not you're a good, loving person, and whether or not you've decided to not be a good, loving person. I don't think taking $20 a couple times from your friend, or like I
think a lot of it is like when you're on your deathbed, do you want to be thinking I'm going to hell, or do you want to be thinking I'm going to heaven?
Yeah.
So like, no matter what anyone else says, what's going to make you feel better about your life, when you're pondering on what you've done in your life, if you're like, you know what, I was, majority a nice person,
Yeah.
I'm not mean to people, I might have said some dumb things, I might have done some dumb things, but in the end, now that I'm here and I'm at this point where I'm going to die and I go to either place, if that's what you believe in, I feel like it's better to just kind of in your own head, where am I going to go?
Yeah. I don't think that there's many people on earth that at the end go like, I'm going to hell. You know what I mean? I think for the most part, especially my generation, I think we're far too like self-righteous and like self-involved to like ever think that we did anything wrong. Because really the reality is that like truly bad psychopaths, they don't die being like, this was wrong. They usually die being like, I nailed it. Like that was good. I did a good job. Because they don't really have the conscience. But who's to say that they weren't fine too? I don't know. I think I don't really totally believe in hell. I feel like hell was kind of created as a deterrent. I think that a lot of Christian and Jewish ideals were created as like a marketing campaign to deter people this way or that way.
Yeah, like beyond government law. Yeah. Here's what we want people to, be peaceful on earth.
Yeah.
So, hey, look, if you start doing these things, you're going to go to a bad place after your short life.
Yeah.
And it made even more sense back then when you died at like 38.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like,
yeah.
You hit your 20s and you're like an old man at that point. And you're like thinking, man, like, I'm old enough to make all these decisions. I'm strong enough to make these decisions. Like, do I go murder someone? Because like
could be fun.
You're thinking though, like, wait a second, I'm already halfway there.
Yeah.
A
part of you does like, because you want to experience everything in life, right? And like I've never snowboarded, but I imagine it would be relatively fun. I've skied, so I have like a basis of comparison, but I'm probably not going to snowboard. Killing someone seems like it could be a pretty good time.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's in the cards for me. Do you know what I mean? Like
No, it's not on my agenda.
Yeah, I don't think I can pull it off. But it's interesting because I don't really watch like world news. I don't know really what's happening in Sweden right now. But I do watch local news because it's more interesting. Like, cause I'm like,
more relevant to you.
Yeah, I'm like, I know that street. That's
yep.
That's fun. And what I've noticed watching local news is that there are a lot of murders. It's every day there's a new murder. It's consistent.
It's interesting.
There's always a murder, which is pretty wild. I mean, people are killing people all the fucking time. And you would think, like, how often do people get murdered? Like, it probably not that often. Every day, people are getting murdered in your state. So, people are doing it. I like I said, I don't know that it's in the cards for me, but people are definitely excited about it. And if you lose some money at the casino, seems like a good time to, murder somebody. But Super Bowl Sunday, it's never as good as you want it to be, is it? It's never that great. Like, the NFL, I don't know. People are still upset about Taylor Swift. Every single Sunday, Taylor Swift is in the face of you know what I mean? And who cares? Who gives a shit?
Too many people.
Like, it doesn't matter. It's a hot lady who sings good. I don't know the music, but I imagine it's good. I've heard a few songs. It didn't sound like it was something that was made with me in mind, so I don't listen to it very often. But at the end of the day, I mean, she's a billionaire from singing, and she's one of the biggest stars in the world. She's a bigger star than literally anybody on the field. Nobody on the field can sell as many tickets as that chick. Right? So, if they pan to her a few times to sell some more merch, that's part of the game, babe. Like that's just how it goes.
It's all the marketing, like you said.
What are you gonna do? And now, essentially, football is just intertwined. Like football and gambling are just like one and the same. Because it used to be like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, it was every Sunday you have football, and if you wanted to bet on a game, you could do it, but you might get killed a few days later if you don't come up with the right amount of money. You gotta pay a vig. You're in a situation with somebody that you probably don't really want to be in a situation with, right? And now football isn't just every Sunday. It's like Monday night, Thursday night, Saturdays sometimes, then Sunday. So it's just an all week thing, and you can bet with your phone. So it's just like they're always pumping like, hey, gamble, 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 which is fine, but at some point it's like, this might be a little bit too much. And it's not like I'm at the point I honestly feel like if you're in your 20s and 30s and you live for your team and you die for your team and you watch every game and you pay attention to every trade and you know who they're going for in the next draft, like you have to pull yourself out of that a little bit. You have to like remove yourself because like it's fine when you're young and it's fine when you're old. But when you're in the middle of your life, to be spending that much time focused on an organization that is not giving you any money, that has no interest in your input, it's a little fucking crazy. Like when I was a kid, I loved football and I watched all the Pats games. I was paying attention. I was very involved. I knew the teams, everything. And now I don't know anybody, and it's fine. And when I watch a game, I go, I hope it's a good game. I hope it's a good game. I hope the team that I liked when I was a kid wins. And if they don't, it's I'll have some wings and shut the fuck up. It's not going to really matter, But like when you're young, it's cool. When you're my dad's age, that's where it picks back up. Because once you hit like 50s, 60s, you need to be anesthetized with something. Like it's almost like should be prescribed. It's like if you're in your 50s and you don't have much going on, you should really be focused completely on the NFL. Like every day should be, what'd they say about him? Is he questionable? Is he probable? Right? Because your kids don't want to hear from you. Your job is trying to get you out as soon as possible. They want you to retire. It's over. They don't need you anymore. Nobody really needs you anymore, right? And your wife, I mean, what are we doing? Your wife, you've been together 30 years probably at that point. She doesn't really care to have conversations with you every day. So that's what you do. You focus on the NFL. You focus on the NFL when you're a child, and you focus on it when you're an old person. In the middle, you watch, but you don't, maybe you'll lose a couple grand here or there, but you can't spend your whole fucking life living and dying with a team. You have to move on. And it's interesting, like I've dated women that are really big sports fans, and you think it's going to be good, right? Like your initial
one of the guys.
Yeah, your initial reaction is like, oh, this will be fun. We don't gotta plan anything on Sundays. Like she'll come over, she'll cook, we'll watch some football, whatever. It's nice. She likes the game. She knows the players. We're having conversations about sports. It's fun. And then I dated one of those, and it was tough. Because they were more into it than I was, and they knew more about it than I was. And our teams played one time, and I remember we were dating, and our teams played, and I was kind of like, yeah, no, I'll come over, we'll watch the game or whatever, and like we're sitting there, and she's like talking shit to me, like during the game, and I'm kind of like, all right,
I don't care that much.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, all right, it's. Well, I hope it's, your team does look good and my team doesn't look so good here, and maybe it'll like and then at the end, like my team lost the game, and she was kind of like, you see, and like talking more shit, and I was kind of like, I get it. Yeah, you wanted to be a boy, but this isn't really the moment. Like no one Like the tomboy thing is cool, but it's just we're at a breaking point here where I'm not trying to like get into a fight with you about the missed field goal. I don't really care, you know?
You don't think it was one of those like,
I don't know.
you know what, when you're in like middle school or like high school, people will like, they'll make fun of you, like, or a girl will make fun of you and she's really just flirting with you.
Yeah.
Or like guys will be like, oh, like what is that? What are those jeans you're wearing? Like, you know what I mean? And then, it means something to her because he notices, and that's just his way of doing it.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that maybe her point there was like she was trying to make
it was
have
trying
some like playful beef.
Yeah.
But if you're not even into it, then it's like what the
I have no interest in the beef.
Yeah.
I just don't I don't really care about I'm as insecure as it is already. Right? I don't need to be like having fake arguments because I'll leave being like, is she really upset? Did I say something wrong there?
No, I hate
what
that,
happened?
yeah.
Like I'm too. I wish I could just be like, yeah, you fucking fuck your team, fuck you, and walk out and be like, that was fun, huh? But it's not really my idea of fun. There's no, you know what I mean? I'm not really getting much out of that experience. So I don't know. So after that, I realized I kind of like girls that are a little more girly, you know. And that's wrong to some people, right? But it doesn't. At the end of the day, you like what you like. You're attracted to what you're attracted to. You can't fight that. Like it was the same way when I was a kid, and I would be around like the chick who could drink, like the chick that was like, yeah, like I can drink with you guys. I like getting fucked up. I was like, okay, we're gonna keep her at like a friend level, Because it's just like I never cared about my friends liking the woman that I dated. It wasn't really, you know what I mean? I wasn't like, I've never met a girl be like, man, I can't wait to bring her around the fellas, Because it doesn't really matter. They don't need to be friends. It can be a separate life.
Yeah.
Because I am a separate way around my girlfriend than I am around my friends. If my friends heard the way that I talk to my girlfriend, they would make fun of me all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Because when I'm talking to my girlfriend, I'm way more emotional and like, I'm way more in touch with my feminine. I'm more like, yeah, babe, oh my god, yeah. Whereas if my friends hear that, they're like, okay, look at this guy. You know what I mean? Like it's a little, and it's nice to have. It's nice for things to be in their good place.
It's like a safe zone.
Yeah.
If you met someone who like truly respects your feelings and like who you are as a person, and you come home from work and you have some things to complain about, it's not going to be like you complain with the boys, where it's like, man, this fucking guy, like like he almost hit me on the fucking highway. I was going fast and he was cutting into me, whatever. You're gonna go home and you'll be like, oh, like someone was driving erratically.
It's nice to be gay when you get home.
Yeah.
It's nice to be a guy all day who's like, I'm serious about my life and I'm trying things, and then you get home and you're a little gay. It's nice. It's nice to come home and be gay. Okay? It's comforting. It's easier. It's way harder to come home and be like, yeah, so what's up, babe? Yeah, no. Like, how do you... Like, Cat Williams had a fucking amazing joke where he was talking about gangbangers. And he was like, dude, like the guy who's gangster at breakfast, you know what I mean? He was like, you gang banging on bacon, like you gang bang, like, and that was such a great joke because it's like you can't be all things all the time.
Yeah, you can't be eating sunny side up eggs, a bagel, and bacon, and be like, yeah, fucking, whatever.
Have a moment. Yeah. Eat a yogurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's crazy, right? And I don't know. I could never date a truly masculine woman because then when I get home and she's masculine, now I'm the bitch in the relationship because I want to be gay when I get home, and problems ensue, right? A lot of happy birthday texts and stuff, which is nice, but is there anything more impersonal than writing happy birthday on the Facebook wall? Is
also,
there anything...
if you haven't talked to them in a long time, it's like, whoa, you just saw the notification on Facebook that said, hey, it's Beau's birthday today.
Yeah, I have not written on a Facebook wall in a decade, right? I don't do it. If it's your birthday and I know you, I don't feel the need to write
No,
a
you
happy
tell him in
birthday.
person. You call him or something.
Because I'm not 75 years old, so I'm not doing that. But like, and even like the whole idea of like, if you have a friend, if you miss their birthday, like I miss Cody's birthday, who's a good friend of mine. I miss his birthday every year. Every year, it's like 2 days after, and I go, hey, was it your birthday the other day? And he's like, yeah. I go, oh, nice. Yeah, good for you.
Good for you.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
He didn't there's no milestone being achieved. He's still unsuccessful, as am I. I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, no.
You don't want false encouragement,
It's a birthday.
Hey, you're doing great, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got another year going. You way to go. Keep playing. I don't know. What is it?
Keep trying. Yeah.
It's fucking weird. Every year, there's like 70 people that write happy birthday to you that you have no relationship with. It's like, what are we doing? Why, But I don't know. I'm not upset about it. I just think it's a little unnecessary.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've always felt that way about birthdays.
I don't know. At the same time, when you're with a girl and she turns for whatever birthday is, you amp it up because girls like that.
You have to, yeah. Especially if that's your girlfriend. You kind of have to.
Yeah, like when my sister turns whatever she turns, I actually don't know how old she is, but when she gets there, wherever she's going, like I have it on my phone and I call and I go, it's such a nice, because it's it's what you do for the person that needs that. But for the most part, nobody fucking like.
Not a lot of guys out there are like sitting by their phone waiting.
No, I'm not taking a tally of who has said happy birthday to me.
Yeah, so you can send them a thank you card.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And then what's the best is the people that send you the happy birthday text and then follow it up with something. And it's like, you saw I had a birthday and then you were like, I actually need to ask him for something. Let me hit him with the happy birthday and then be like, hey, by the way, we're going through a tough time. I could actually use 100. Like that's fucking
Imagine.
great.
Yeah. Does that happen to you?
Well, yeah, I'm friends with people who are drug addicts.
Oh, well, I guess, yeah. Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to a funeral for
hey, buddy, happy birthday. Yeah. By the way,
yeah,
I need some money.
What's also very interesting about funerals is every time somebody dies that's in your life, what will happen is that people who are also close to that person, when you talk to them, they will try to show you how they were so much more a part of that person's life than you are. It becomes a competition about who knew them better, who knew the real them, who like had more conversations that impacted their life with that person, which is so. Why is it? What the fuck is that about? Every time anyone I know has died, and I feel it in myself too, because when someone dies, I feel the need to like. When I talk to somebody that also knows that person, I'm like, oh yeah, well we
were best buds.
I
back
did this with him. What? Why am I doing that? I don't care. He's dead. It doesn't matter. Like I'm trying to impress another person that knew him to let him know that I kind of knew him more than he did. Well, who the fuck gives a shit?
Because if anything, he's sitting up there like bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird, and it goes back. We are just such self-involved people at every level that even when something happens that has literally nothing to do with us, and I'll speak for myself, I will find a way to make it somehow about me. You know what I mean? Like I'll talk about it on my podcast for some reason. You know what I mean? I'll call somebody and be like, yeah, I remember I did that for him. And it's got nothing to do with me. His life, I only knew him for 5 years, and he lived for many years. It is, you know what I mean? Like I knew him maybe 10%, 5% of that person's life. And for some reason, I'm important to his story. I'm not. I'm nothing. Who gives? I'm a blip in the radar of most people I know, except for family members.
Do you think maybe some of that has to do with like, oh, I wish I was more of a part of his life?
No,
because I don't. Build. Oh yeah, I guess so.
I don't.
I guess in your case,
yeah.
But for some people, it's like, back to the birthday thing. It's like, a lot of girls, most of the time girls, they'll post something on like their story.
Yeah.
And it's like 8 pictures of them, sleepovers and
Right.
like going out, getting drinks and stuff like that. And it's like, who can have the most pictures out? I feel like it's a similar thing where it's like, at the funeral, you're talking about, like he was my, we were roommates in college. You didn't talk to each other. You were pissed off at each other the whole time.
You didn't have a great relationship.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's fine. But I would love to go to a funeral where somebody comes to you and goes, "Hey, how you doing? Yeah, no," and they are like, "Yeah, I'm not really that upset. I mean, we hung out a few times. He was fine. He's kind of a dick that one time." Like, it would just be nice to go to a funeral and have people just speak super honestly about the dead, because for the most part, every funeral that I've gone to, and I've gone to a lot of them, this could be like the worst drug addict. Like, family hated him. No one picked up his call. Everybody was like, oh, the second he walked into a room, it's like, God damn it, he's here. You know what I mean? And he dies, and then the funeral is like, we loved him. He was a shining light in my life. And it's like, dude, we did not like this guy. He was a pain in the ass from day one.
It's the things you're supposed to say at a funeral. Like, this kind of...
We're not. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Like, we're not supposed to do anything.
Like, in terms of, like, societal, like, boundaries, it's like, hey, like, if you're going to go to the funeral, like, say nice things.
Yeah.
I've seen a funeral that was like, it was some guy was telling a story about, like, his brother.
Yeah.
And he passed away from something like cancer. And, they did a roast, like at the funeral, like as part of his like celebration,
right?
And they're cracking jokes about him, And I feel like that is more genuine than like being like, oh, he was the best,
Yeah, it could be good. I hope we do that for like Lampanelli's funeral. I hope we do some sort of a roast, since she was the queen of roasts.
I would like a roast.
She's not gonna die for a long time. I don't know if she might be listening.
Someone like Jeff Ross. Jeff Ross has to have a roast at his funeral.
He should. You should. Yeah, absolutely. However you lived, that it should be. It should be put on display at the funeral.
Yeah.
The Irish do funerals, I think, better than anybody.
Because
you go there,
yeah.
You go there, people get fucked up, and then they tell stories, right? Because for Irish people, we don't have any skills, but we can talk.
And drink.
Yeah, you can talk and you can drink. So when you go, they play a little music. All right, there he is. He's dead. If you're Catholic, you say whatever. And then you go to the bar and you talk shit about him for a couple hours. You get hammered and everybody goes home.
That's how he would have wanted it.
If
he was there, he would have been right there with you.
That's how most Irish people live. That's how they die. Talking shit, right? That's how it should go. But yeah, man, that's weird. Like, I've always kind of fantasized about doing a eulogy, but doing like a really
interesting
honest,
word choice.
No, I have.
Yeah,
I have. I've always fantasized about it. Whenever I've been at a funeral, I've been like, I should have, because I need attention at every moment of my life, and I think I would do a good job. I think I'd be a good eulogizer. Because I think I could accurately show people what the life was. And it wouldn't be well received. Yeah. I'm not saying it would go well. There would not be, people wouldn't come up to me afterwards and be like, that was so nice. It would be kind of like, all right.
Like, who invited this guy?
That was pretty accurate, but it's kind of not what we're doing here.
Yeah. But the accuracy is the main point here. Like, if you have an accurate description of the person's life, and, if you were actually good friends with them, but they were just not a good person. Yeah. Just like.
Also, funerals very, very much depend upon, like, the year the person died, right?
Like the age?
Yes.
Yeah.
The age that you die is how interesting and good your funeral is going to be. If you die anywhere past 75, your funeral is a fucking snooze fest. Because no one really cares. Everyone's kind of like, all right.
Well, that's what happens. Yeah.
It's like a, okay. Not that many people there, because most of the people that know you are dead, or they're kind of like family members, and it's kind of like, all right. But if you die, here's the holy grail of funerals. Ready? The holy grail. 18 drunk driving accident.
Oof.
That is the holy grail of funerals. You cannot get more prime time funeral than 18 drunk driving accident, because that, The whole fucking town shows up.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody shows up. You got the band, the high school band's playing. You got a banner. You get a full fucking page in the yearbook.
The fucking police show up.
Yeah, no, it's cops.
Yeah.
There's firemen.
He was a great kid.
The community as a whole shows up. They're like, we got to get involved. You know, like there's a fucking huge line. No one can really get. I remember I had a friend who died at 19. You know, I couldn't even see the casket. That's how many tickets this kid moved at that funeral. I mean,
almost as many as Taylor Swift.
He's crushing.
He's crushing it.
Crushing. Yeah.
His numbers are up.
Oh, yeah. You're going out on top. That's on top. If you die at 18 in a drunk driving accident, that is peak. You went out the way you're supposed to go.
You
out.
charge at the door.
Yeah. Oh my God. You're making cash.
You can do sponsorships.
Because here's the other thing. It's a huge tragedy. It's a huge tragedy.
It's horrible.
It's awful. It's an awful thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But everybody wants to be involved in a huge tragedy.
Yeah.
Right? Like we love it. We love a huge tragedy. And there's nobody more self-involved than the high school students, right? So they're showing up and everyone's crying because everybody had a conversation with that kid at the lunchroom one
Even
time.
the guy who bullied him is there.
Yeah, the kid who bullied him was like, I made a mistake. Like, you know what I mean? Like
That's the reason he was drunk driving. It's like,
everybody's fucking involved. It's crazy. You know, the home ec teacher was like, he had potential. I think he could have baked muffins for a living. You know, like it's fucking nuts how involved people will get at an 18. And like I said, I went to one. I didn't even see the casket. I wanted to see the parents. Like there's something you just want to see. You want to see the destruction that's left because there's nothing more brutal than an accidental death at 18. It's phenomenal. So I think if you're going to die, 18 drunk driving is the way to go. I almost died a few times 18 drunk driving. I crashed cars at that age drunk. I was in cars that people crashed. I was in a couple of, relatively serious wrecks. And guess what? Name not called. Couldn't move the tickets. Same thing at 18. At 31, I cannot move fucking tickets to sell the life of me. God, and it's like maybe I should have had a podcast back then, and I would have had fucking tickets moving. But you
got like an Eventbrite website set up.
I could have planned the whole fucking thing. But anyways, I don't know.
Goodie bags.
I'm just saying that is if you're gonna die 18 in a drunk driving accident is about as good as it gets. That's about as good as it gets. Everybody knows that. Everybody thinks about because here's the thing: it doesn't just end there. Because then when all of those people that you grew up with get to their 30s, that I start thinking about that guy. He's been in my head for fucking ever. This kid, right? Because I'm 30. Oh wow, he didn't make it till 18. It's been 12 years since that kid has died. So he missed so much life. You know what I mean?
Then you take a step back and you're like, there wasn't that much to miss.
Yeah, yeah. When you take a step back and you go, good move.
Good move.
Good move. Good move. He got laid a few times. He got fucked up a lot. He didn't, he made a couple tackles.
Yeah.
I don't even think he was he might have been all state. Kid might have been all state. Yeah. Good athlete. Got banged out a few times by some chicks.
Yeah.
Went to a couple great parties and then called it a day. I mean, how... That's an American experience. Like, that's the way you go, man. And, rather than my buddy, I got to go see this fucking kid who's dying in his 40s of an overdose. How embarrassing. You die of your 40s in an overdose. You die in your 20s of an overdose. You die in your teens of an overdose. In the 40s of an overdose. It's just, at that point, I mean, we're just...
I always wondered what the funeral would be like for those people who, the school shooters and shit. Like if it's a murder suicide or that type of thing. It's like, are they sitting there and being like, he was just a genuine
No.
child?
Those draw because those make real headlines.
Yeah,
they make real headlines. So they draw because here's the thing: as good as the 18 drunk driving death is, the tragic he took people with him and he's kind of hated, but then he's kind of loved. Way, right? Because even though you can do the most horrible shit in this world, there's always going to be women that want to fuck you. Doesn't matter. If you're in the news, you're going to catch some pussy. It's just how it works. No matter what. You could be a serial killer who ate people's heads you're locked up. You're getting letters. You're getting straight up nudes from chicks. It's just the nature.
Serial killers, man.
It's the nature of show business,
Yeah.
folks. You know what I mean? You're moving tickets. You're getting puss. It's just how it goes. So I think as much as we go like, the murder, suicide, tragic death, the school shooter, right? These types of things. The bottom line is at those funerals, you don't just get all the people that know that person. You get the picketers. You get the media. It's a circus. So it's not better. It's not. I don't want to say it's better than the 18-year-old who dies in the drunk driving accident. That's still crown jewel of funerals. But I think that the school shooter or just the random act of violence guy,
the murder suicide or the
that's still that pays.
Oh yeah,
that pays.
you could sell some tickets.
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
doesn't move tickets the way that the All-American boy can move tickets. It's the same way fucking Taylor Swift moves tickets. She's the All-American girl. She did it up on her bootstraps, and she sang her songs about her love life and things going tough and what it's like to be a girl and the whatever. You know what I mean? And there's that All-American girl. By the way, Taylor Swift is a huge win for white people. We have had an interesting decade with the woke and the hen and the hen and the colonizers and not so great and everything's getting pulled back and we're a racist and whatever. Taylor Swift is, we're back on top with Taylor Swift. Can we say that?
So what do you think? What do you think? Taylor Swift for Trump or?
She's not gonna. I don't think she's gonna endorse
I
Trump.
don't think she's gonna say anything about.
She's
Biden
not
either.
gonna endorse anybody, which is the move.
Yeah, that's the way.
Because
to go.
if you go one way, right now she has everybody at the palm of her
she
hand.
should run.
Yeah, 100%. She should run.
Yeah.
She should run the country. No questions asked.
Yeah.
But she's got everybody in the palm of her hand. If she chooses one candidate, then half of the people that she has in the palm of her hand suddenly don't like her anymore. So you can't.
The other half are like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, she's truly a god, and God can't have political affiliations. You know what I mean? Like God isn't up there with a MAGA hat on. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't play, right? So yeah, no, she's just going to be the great white god of our lifetime, and that's fine. And you know what? You're going to have to watch her this weekend while you watch people get concussions, and it's fine. Okay, you lose a little bit of money. Usher's doing the halftime show. I fucking loved Usher. You know why I loved Usher? Because he wrote every song about how he's cheating on his girlfriend. And every single song was about how I cheated on my girlfriend. I got another baby.
With your girlfriend.
Yeah. I'm fucking too many chicks. Every single song was about how I'm just fucking too many chicks.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a great problem
I
to have.
can't make those
Yeah.
songs. I can't write a song about how I'm getting too much pussy. It would be off-putting. People would be kind of bummed out, I get calls. But this guy, he's a good-looking dude. He's a fucking hot black dude with a great set of abs and a milky voice, and he just fucks too many chicks, and those are his issues.
How old is he now?
I don't know. That's a good.
He's got to be in his 50s.
Let's look that up. That's a Jeff get on your horse situation.
Yeah, let me get that up.
Wow, we really covered time fast on this show. But yeah, Usher, I think it's nice. I think to write songs about how you fuck too many chicks. I think the show.
He's 45.
45.
Yeah.
He's probably.
But he looks great.
He's cleaning up puss probably still. My God. He had some great songs. Burn, Confessions Part 2. He had fucking hits. And all of his music videos, if you're watching those music videos as a 12-year-old, you're getting hard 100% of the time. 100% of the time.
He did it for you.
It was him. Dude, him alone would get you.
Oh, yeah.
Because you'd be like, I've never seen somebody this smooth and glistening before.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter what color or what gender they are at that point. It's smooth, glistening skin.
Hot guy.
Yeah. Anybody would be.
You can't argue with
No,
hot
you
guy.
you can't argue with talent.
Talent.
You can't. Kid move tickets. But, I don't know, man. So you enjoy that show. Yeah, fucking Usher, man. He's a beautiful, beautiful man. This show is going to be fun. I like it. I know it's weird. We're not even done with the episode yet, but I enjoy the show. The show is going to have and this is part of broadcasting. It's like there's not going to be every moment on this show that's good, but I'm gonna make you wait for it because there's going to be one bit in every show that I think is worth putting out. And the one bit today was the kids. If you're 18 and you die in a car accident.
Oh yeah,
That was it. So we work our whole day to get to that one fun thing. You listen to it for an hour. It's entertaining. And you share it with your friends. You don't. This is not particularly high stakes. I'm in a cold room. Actually, it's kind of warm in here.
yeah.
But it looks like I'm in a cold room, and I'm on my way to a funeral. There's not much that we need to worry about. This is coming out soon. I want to plug a couple dates. This is going to come out right after the Super Bowl, so you're going to know who won when you watch this. If you want to come out, we're going to do a show at Factory Underground, which is right there. We're going to do a show right outside this studio, and it's going to be a bunch of killers. It's going to be a great show. Tickets are cheap. Go to That's Fair Comedy. Look for the Factory Underground show on February 15th. Also, we have a show at New York Comedy Club Stanford on February 23rd. That is a late show. That's going to be a 9:30 show. Pretty much every single show at that club is amazing. The tickets always sell out. It's a fucking great time. It's a late show on a Friday. You really can't miss that. Then I'm doing a couple headlining gigs. I'm going to be at the MAC. I'm going to be headlining the Milford Arts Center in Milford, Connecticut, which is a beach town that nobody really goes to, but that's where my career is. And then I'm going to be headlining on February 29th. I'm going to be headlining in Rutherford, New Jersey. Rutherford. It's a good name. At Paisanos. I'm going to be doing a WAP gig. A bunch of Italians. And I got to do 45 minutes for them. So that'll be fun. Probably dinner. You know how those gigs go. Well, you don't. You're just people who listen to comedy. But those gigs are always like you get a meal, and they're going to put some probably heavy-set Italian guy up front, and he's going to murder, and then I'm going to have to find a way to cover time talking about funerals. So that'll be fun, and hopefully the check clears on that. And then we'll be in March, and then we're just heading towards summer, and then things get fun. There'll be more shows. There's gonna be more podcasts. Cody and I are gonna get on and do a lot of more sketches. So it's gonna be good. I'm off now. We're gonna sign off a few minutes early here. I got to go think about death on my birthday. So that'll be the name of the episode, Death on My Birthday. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Share, do whatever you have to do.